And I know this is a big if. If Tua if they can just figure out if Tua can just make it through 15, 16, 17 games and get to the postseason, to where he's available in the postseason, Miami is winning the East.
Yes.
Book it.
Yes.
Miami's winning the East.
5 times. 5 times. 5 times in 10 seconds, Louis Riddick said the word if in talking about Tua Tagovailoa's health. I posted that video about 30 days ago. And today I'm going to tell you why so many people across the media, why you're seeing so many quarterback rankings ranking Tua Tagovailoa so low. And it's all because of the if Tua can stay healthy. So I'm going to show you some data here that you may not have seen before. And if you have seen it before, I'm sure it shocked you, but wait till you see this stuff. It is amazing, and it pretty much explains everything. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it because this may take a little bit. If you haven't seen this site before, I encourage you to get all over it. It's called Draft Sharks. Formerly was called the Sports Injury Predictor. And you can go here by position across the NFL, and it's going to tell you what they're predicting for injuries in the coming season. It's really, really interesting. And I wanted to highlight a couple things as I went through this. And it says, for years, Sports Injury Predictor has helped both the NFL and NFL teams. So this isn't just some website that popped up from some random guy on YouTube or some random guy on Twitter. They've been doing this for quite some time. And it's really, really deep. They talk about their database here. Any attempt to predict injuries will be garbage if your input information is garbage, which is one of the reasons why I don't like ChatGPT, is because the information has been put into it, that it's been programmed. And if the information is crap, then the information that's going to put out is crap as well. The Sports Injury Predictor staff has spent the past year building up an already rich database of injuries, meaning they already had a huge database, and now they've been going even deeper, refining our processes for tracking those ailments in order to better project their future impacts. The result, a database of hundreds of NFL players with injuries dating back to their college days. That's a lot of data, a lot of data. So how massive is this database? For every tracked injury, the Sports Injury Protector database includes details such as injury date, time missed, specific location and nature of the injury, whether the player re-aggravated a previous injury, whether the injury required surgery, whether it landed him on IR to date. We have vetted 611 players, tracked down and verified all the public details, and the group has produced 3,100 total injuries in their database. So I just wanted to tell you that because what I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind, and I don't want anybody giving me any comments about, oh, it's BS. Unless you can go to data and you have something or a source that's better than this, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the fanboy stuff. Oh, you're just trashing Tua. No, I'm not. This is actual scientific data. If you have scientific data to the contrary, bring it on. Show it to me. But this is a well thought out, well developed, well-researched database of injuries for what they're saying 611 players all the way back to college, where they can predict how a player may or may not be injured going forward. So let's go through this. So what kind of injuries are they looking at? They're looking at sprains, concussions, strains, tears, fractures, bruises, dislocations, and turf toe. So it's really exhaustive. The only way you can really have a problem with this is if you're so in the tank as a fan that you really just don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to have anything to do with this. Our guys are going to ball out. We're going to be fine. Doesn't mean anything. You're in a different group. You're in that group where la, 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 you don't want to hear it. Okay, so if those people have left the room, let's go ahead and dig into the Sports Injury Predictor for quarterbacks for 2023. So one of the first things you notice when you get on this database is you can sort by quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and you can really dig into, what the injury history and what the propensity for injury is for 2023. And it ranks every single quarterback in the league, every single one of them, and it predicts where they may fall in terms of predicting injuries for the next year. At the top of the list, they've got Kirk Cousins, and he's a very low risk, 5% games projected to miss, 0.20. He's pretty much a safe bet in terms of being a quarterback and being on the field. So, Barry, where are they getting this data from? How are they doing it? Well, if you click here and say show history, what's going to open up is all of the history of injuries that they can track all the way back to the guy's college days. And Kirk Cousins has had one injury back in 2009, obviously back when he was at Michigan State, I would say, yeah. So we're talking 14 years. The guy's had one injury, one major injury, and he had an ankle sprain, grade 1, back in October of 2009. So we're talking about, a pretty extensive database of injuries. And you can get on this site and you go through every single one. You can look at every single quarterback and see how this is ranked from Kirk Cousins all the way down. Unfortunately, where Tua Tagovailoa falls. We'll get there. So you've got these guys here are very low risk. But Barry, Lamar Jackson, how can he be a very low risk? How can he only be a 9% rating? We've seen Lamar Jackson get hurt. Well, click in here and show his history. Here's all his history right here. You can go through, and what they're looking at is the severity of injuries as well. He had his patella sprain was in 2020. He had an ankle sprain in 2015. 2021, he had a lumbar sprain. Oh, my back hurts. 2021 again, he had another ankle sprain. 2022, he had a knee sprain, grade 2, PCL. So these are injuries that they've charted, and they also understand the recovery period for these injuries as well. So you guys can go through here. I can't spend the time. We'd be here for literally 2 hours if I went through this entire database. Like I said, some of you are just going to disagree because you have to disagree. But absent data to the contrary, not your feelings. I'm not talking about your feelings. Absent data to the contrary, this explains why everybody is saying if. So remember, this column here is probability of injury in the upcoming season, 5%, 9%, 10%. Projected games to be missed, 0.2, 0.5, half a game, all right? Again, we're getting up here in time, so I don't want to spend too much time, but you go from very low risk, very low risk in the green, medium risk in the yellow or gold, high risk in the red once you get down here. And notice how the probability of injury is rising. You went from 5% at Kirk Cousins down to 14% with Aaron Rodgers, 15% with Taylor Heineke, and it's continuing to go up. Now you get down to high risk. It's got Jimmy G at 22%, slated to miss half a game. Josh Allen at 26%, slated to miss an entire game. And you can just keep going down and down until you get to Tua. And Tua is listed at 73% likely to be injured. 73%. For those of you who don't know math much, that's almost, just a little bit away from 100%. 73% that he's likely to be re-injured. And if you look at the other quarterbacks up here, we know that Joe Burrow, he's also at high risk, but he's only at 65. Danny Jones, I'm just looking at potential, playoff quarterbacks. Danny Jones at 61%. Who else is on here? Carson Wentz isn't signed yet. He's even higher. But what I want to bring your attention to, in addition to Tua being a very high risk of injury, and one of the highest scores, if not the highest score of active quarterbacks on the list, the highest. He's also the highest in terms of probability of games missed. 2.2 games in 2023. This predictor is expecting Tua to miss. So more than 2 games, they're predicting that Tua will miss. What will happen if the Dolphins are without Tua for 2 games? And then take that a little bit further. What will happen if the Dolphins are without Tua for 2 games in November or December? This is why people are saying if healthy, because his durability rating, they got Joe Burrow at 0. I don't know what's going on with Burrow, but Tua is the next lowest one with just a 2. So they've got Tua as not being durable at all, and you can go through here and see his injury history. I mean, he basically has been in sick bay for quite some time. This is why you hear guys like Louis Riddick, who is probably one of the Dolphins' biggest advocates, who believes the Dolphins are this far away from being a strong, I would say, championship contender. Even he, with everything that Vic Fangio is coming in, with all the free agents, with the draft, with the offense, with Mike McDaniel doing all kinds of stuff, the reason people are still saying, if healthy, is because of that. You can't deny it. You can't deny any of this stuff because it's in black and white. And you can see the chronological way this has happened all the way back from 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2022. It's just a laundry list of injuries. So now you know specifically why everybody in the media keeps saying, if healthy. Tua is the most at-risk quarterback in the entire NFL, and he's projected to miss more than 2 games in 2023. No crystal balls, nobody knows for sure, but you've got this kind of data, and it shows this kind of history over a period of 5 or 6 years. That's why you're hearing so many people saying if. Because that's the part you can't control. Yes, the defense looks fantastic. Fantastic. The offense, we know it can ball. Tua, when he's healthy, this team is a championship caliber team. But the only question that nobody can answer, but they can look at his history, is can Tua Tagovailoa stay on the field? If he can stay on the field, the future is extremely bright. If this predictor is correct, and he misses 2+ games this year, what are the Dolphins going to do? And that's what I've been saying for quite some time. If he goes down, what are the Dolphins going to do? And if we understand that injury predictor, that's also the reason why this rumor mill continues to live on. For instance, today, posted by some guy named Alex Greenberg. Let's be honest, if anything happens to Tua where he misses significant time, that's to be determined what significant is, Brady will be the quarterback. There's a reason he hasn't signed a ceremonial 1-day contract with the Patriots. He's still hoping to play this year. Omar Kelly, who used to be a beat writer for the Sun Sentinel, who's been very vocal about the Miami Dolphins, came back and said, once again, you have judged correctly. This is from Omar Kelly. You know what? Once again, you have judged correctly. The rumors aren't going to go away until Tua can prove that he can be on the field for all 16 or 17 games and into the playoffs. It's not going to stop. And you're going to continue to have the asterisk if healthy. You may be a diehard fan. You may believe Tua walks on water. Doesn't really matter. He's been predicted to miss 2+ games this season and has a 73% chance of being re-injured. So the rumors are going to continue. And like I said, that's data. Those are all facts of data looking back over a period of 6 years. So what do you think? Let me know. I know you guys are going to have a lot of opinions about that, but I'll put the link to that website in the description if you want to go check it out yourself, if it gives you time to read it and, rebut me, whatever. But those are the data. Those are the data points. Those are the numbers. Let me know what you think. Fins up.
Is anybody catching on to this Barry guy?